Listen, if it's one thing that I'm pretty sure we're all aware of is that life is out here moving fast, okay? It's a lot going on. We got society telling us what we should be doing, we should be, all while we're still trying to figure ourselves out. But you know what we can do? We can be mindful of where we are in this present moment and take small steps towards becoming better by the day and towards reaching our God-given purpose. So let's figure it out and work through it together. Welcome to Mindful Moments, y'all. A space where we talk it out, laugh it out, cry it out, hash it out. Listen, just get it all out, okay? This is a safe space for you where we talk about the ups, the downs, even the in-betweens. A place where we go through it so we can grow through it. Tune in every week as we fill our minds with who we're destined to be, with positivity, with awareness, and honestly, just with love. So I encourage you, let's be mindful of today in hopes for, yes, a better you, but also in hopes for a better tomorrow. Again, welcome to Mindful Moments. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome, y'all, back to another episode of Mindful Moments. I'm your host, Jada Lowe, and how are y'all doing? How are y'all feeling? How y'all looking? How are y'all living? Excuse the ice machine. How y'all living? We are back at it, getting back to it, and we back in it like we never left. I'm saying that like I took a hiatus. Y'all, I did take a hiatus from socials. So, like, I'm not really posting like that. I am posting, like, when episodes and stuff launch, but really barely even that. But that's besides the point. Let's get into the episode, okay? So, I want to talk about and discuss with you all what it means to be in a state of mindful pursuit, aka following your dreams. When I say pursuit, I'm talking like intentionally going full throttle, intentionally like going after what it is that you want. And I want us to talk about what that looks like, because it has a lot of ins and outs to it, but there are also some things that I've learned and I'd like to share with y'all, and y'all even share with me. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, or if you're listening, DM me on Instagram at O_Jada, O3Hs_Jada, and like let me know like what y'all's journey has been like, just as you've been pursuing the things that you want out of life. So when it comes to mindful pursuit, and I named that episode Mindful Pursuit because you have to be mindful in the midst of pursuing, no matter what it is that you're pursuing, whether it's a goal, whether it's a dream, whether it's an aspect of your life that you're pursuing. You have to be mindful of it and intentional about it. And there's a level of focus that you have to have when following your dreams, when pursuing what it is that you want. And there's a level of tunnel vision that comes with that. There will be distractions, there will be detours, all of that. We'll get into that. But the objective is to be mindful through it all, because all of that working together will help you to reach what you're pursuing and help you to see the very thing that you've been pursuing right in front of you. So what does mindful pursuit look like? When y'all hear, I think sometimes when we hear pursue, we think of it, or let me not speak for the general public. When I hear pursue, I'm thinking two things: to go after something, to go after like a goal in general, or to be pursued like relationally. Like, I want to be pursued one day. But yes, relationally, but I hear, or I think of like intentionally going after someone or something. So as it relates to our goals and our ambitions and our dreams, what does it look like to be in the space of a mindful pursuit and following your dreams? And four things that I want to mention. The first one is intentionality. Pursuit itself, just the word in general, gives me intentional. It speaks intentional to me. And so let me look it up. Pursuit definition: the action of following or pursuing someone or something. Wasn't that what I said, y'all? Ooh, not a synonym being stalking. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let me look. Let's look for some other ones. So I'm going to be honest with y'all. These aren't that good. These are not good. The act of following, or they're not, it's not that they're not good. They don't have the best definition. The act of following or chasing someone or something, referring to like hounds running in the woods, pursuit of a fox. The act of pursuing, an activity done especially for pleasure, But this one, the main definition was what I mentioned earlier, the action of following or pursuing someone or something. So, operative word, active. Not resting about it or being lackadaisical about it. You know what it is you want, you see what it is you want, and you go after it. Hence the word intentional. So when I hear pursuit, and when I just think of what mindful pursuit looks like for me and following my dreams, what that looks like for me, that means that I need to be intentional, and that means that I am being intentional about what it is that I want, no matter the capacity or aspect of my life that it's in. I know that I want that and I'm going to go get it. But there's also a level of intentionality that comes with pursuing the very thing that you want. So being intentional, of course. Another one, and I should have put it at number one, but it's confidence in the vision God's given you and having tunnel vision. The main thing that I've learned when following my dreams or just doing something that, I'm going to be honest, doing something that's on my heart, that I know God has placed on my heart, and something that I can't expect anybody else to understand, I know that that comes with me having to be prayerful about, but also a belief in and having a level of confidence in God, what he's told me, and in myself to know that I need to go after this. I want to go after it, yes, but that I need to go after it, and this is what's best for me in this season of my life. So having the utmost confidence, in the thing that you want to pursue, depending on what it is and depending on the level of urgency that you kind of have when pursuing certain things, you may not be that confident in it. It could be because of insecurity. It could be just because you're unsure. But I believe when it comes to the things that we really want, there has to be, yes, a level of intentionality, but also a level of confidence in knowing that God's placed that on your heart for a reason. Even when it comes to pursuing a person or pursuing a relationship, like those are things to be prayerful about too. That's not something to just not recklessly, but to aimlessly pursue, or for me at least. So yes, being intentional, being confident in the vision God's given you, and a level of tunnel vision. I believe that comes with confidence too, because confidence gives you being confident in what you're pursuing and knowing that that's something that God's told you. I've learned that I've had a level of tunnel vision that I've never had before. Not that I'm not listening to anybody else, but I know that I have to be mindful of what I'm seeing, especially with social media, because I'm still working on like not comparing my journey to other people's, or how far along I am compared to other people, and how far along other people are compared to me. I'm still learning how to do that. And recently, just through pursuing my goals and just pursuing the things that I know God has placed on my heart, I've had to have a deeper sense of tunnel vision, like focus on your lane, run your race, and everything else will follow. You're not going to get anywhere run into what you think you want to accomplish when you're looking at someone else's race, right? And so that level of tunnel vision and focus, and as it relates to listening, not that I don't respect or take criticism or take suggestions, but I know that respectfully, to a certain extent, when you're doing something that's different from the majority of the people around you, or just the majority of what you see, be not sure if guard I don't think guardful is a word, but be protective over who you share it with, and be protective over your ears, because when you share your ideas, people will project. And it's not that they may always mean to. Some of it may be because they just being a little ugly. But for the most part, people project just based off of their experiences. And so I've learned that when it comes to telling people what I'm setting out to do, or even telling people what God has told me, everybody doesn't need to know that. And the tunnel vision comes with understanding that everybody doesn't need to know that. Everybody doesn't need to know what you have going on. Not because you don't want to share it, but there's a time and a place to share that thing. And while you're in pursuit of it, be mindful of who you're telling, where you're running to. Be mindful of that, and understand that even the people that you do tell, if whether they be family and friends or whatever, whoever you tell, the feedback that you receive, whether if it's good, take everything with a grain of salt. But if it's something that has the ability to potentially down your vision or to be condescending towards your vision, say thank you and keep it pushing. Don't even say thank you. Just say, okay, respectfully, keep it pushing. Because that's outside noise that you don't need. And so tunnel vision also comes with being discerning with your ear and what you let in too. So just be mindful of that. Another thing when it comes to just mindful pursuit and following your dreams, go with your gut. Trust your intuition, Ask God to lead and guide your intuition. I was listening to a sermon by Darius Daniels the other day, and he was saying, this is me paraphrasing, but he was basically talking about how, yes, we have our intuition, but we need to be prayerful over our intuition too, and ask God to guide our intuition. And so that's something to be mindful of. Yes, listen to your gut, but also ask God to help you be a good steward over your intuition and to guide your intuition and your gut, because it's there for a reason. And another thing, this kind of goes with intentionality, but be proactive when following your dreams, and just being in pursuit of something. Being proactive is probably one of the best things that you can do. So being proactive can look like a lot of things. It can look like having systems in place, having strategies in place, processes, and just developing those practices to help you to keep pushing towards the thing that you're pursuing. And so back to like the outside noise and all the hoopla, just be aware of the fact that while you're pursuing, other things are pursuing you. And sometimes it's not always for your best interest. And so a few of those things are distractions and outside noise. And incorporated in that is discouragement. That discouragement can come from you or outside people. And also detours can come up. And so now we have to see, okay, if I'm running my race, if I'm pursuing this goal, like I'm on a mission, right? And a detour, something unexpected pops up. How do I, go back to being proactive? How do I adapt to that? Whether it was a detour that was planned or not planned, how do I adapt and keep it pushing and keep running my race and keep pressing towards the thing that I'm pursuing? So as it relates to distractions and outside noise, just being honest, that's going to come. That's inevitable. That's something that I've learned myself. Even in the midst of like Like, I know I'm special. I know I'm unique. I know all of that, right? But going back to the comparison piece, like, that's just a task for me that I am learning to grow out of and get out of, and just truly just focusing on me, especially for my people, like anybody listening or watching. If you're in the 20 somethings, like that age range, it's a lot going on for us, y'all. It's a lot. Everybody telling us what we should be doing. I'm still trying to figure out what it is I want to do. And so just filtering, like the 20s is like a filtering process, child, because it's like they're telling you who you should be, what you should be doing, this what you need to have done, this the stuff you need to have checked off. And it's just like, I just want to live a fulfilling, happy life and travel the world. Like, it's so much to filter. I feel like when I hit, probably like when I hit like 23, 24, I was like, I felt the little pressure because I felt like I should have been farther along. I felt like I should have found what I wanted to do by now. And it was just a lot of, I was everywhere. And that came with like seeing where other people were and like beating myself. I'm just being honest, beating myself up because I wasn't where other people my age were, and because like maybe younger people were farther along, and then seeing, okay, well, there's people older than me who just not getting started, so it's still time. And then it's just, everything was like coming into my head, and that's a distraction. You're so busy looking outside to where you don't look inward and see that I'm still in the same spot that I didn't want to be in. I have made no progress. Not in the sense of I've been stagnant because I've been so busy trying to see what everybody else is doing. And that's a distraction. Comparison is a distraction. Comparison is the thief of joy, yes, but it is also a distraction. And the outside noise, like I said, just you really, once you learn how to filter the outside noise, that's one of the biggest pieces. And this is the nicest way I can put it. I've learned to not care. I've learned to say I don't care. Not that I don't respect you, not that I don't value you, but this is me speaking like to y'all, just being transparent. As it relates to podcasting and creating content and making a living out of that, I don't expect everybody to understand what that looks like and how it looks like for me, nor do I expect everybody to believe in it. I only need one person outside of God to believe in it, and that's me. I know what he's told me. Like I said, I can't expect everybody you can't expect everybody to see a vision that God has only given you. Because when you place that expectation on them, you're going to be disappointed every time, because they were never meant to see it. Some things people are only meant to see when it comes to fruition. And so keep that in mind as it relates to outside noise and filtering stuff, especially if you're doing something differently, and especially if you're doing something different and if you're breaking like a different type of barrier, or if you're just going, yes, if you're going a traditional route, because every person's journey is catered to that person. But even if you're doing something non-traditional, just keep in mind that the thing that God's given you to see, everybody might not be able to see it through the same lens, and that is okay. That is okay. Don't let that discourage you. It is okay that they can't see it. But when God say it's time and it unleashes, they won't have a choice but to see it. They won't have a choice but to see it. And that's not me being cocky. That's me being confident in what I know God has told me. That's all I need is for him to say, this is what I need for you to do. All I need for him is, God has shown me through different things that I've had to like see in my life, and different things that I had to try, of where he needed me to be. And it always coming back to this, to helping y'all. That's all I needed. I don't need to hear nothing from anybody else. Not that I don't respect it, like I said, not that I don't value it. I know what I've been told, and I'm sticking my guns to that. I'm standing 10 toes in that, and I'm serving, and I'm being responsible over that. Had to get that off my chest. Don't get discouraged. Do not get discouraged. I had to tell that to myself. I always tried to get people to understand where I was coming from. I always tried to get people to see like where it was that what I could see what Jada could see. Nobody else is meant to see it. There are people who are meant to help serve it, and there are people who are meant to see it and help you to reach it, but it's okay if the people that you want to see it don't. They're just not meant to see it at that time. And them not being able to see it is further is more of a testimony to them for when it comes to fruition for you. So have that assurance in knowing that it is okay when everybody can't see what it is that God's giving you to see. And sometimes God means for the two of y'all, you and him, to only be the ones that can see it. So that way you won't have no choice but to go to anybody but him. Let me keep it pushing. Detours. I was saying don't get discouraged. That goes into outside noise too. Don't let that discourage you, and don't even discourage yourself. Like I always tell y'all, take it one day at a time. Encourage yourself through the process, even if it gets discouraging, even if every day isn't the most motivational. Even if it gets discouraged, encourage yourself through the process and know that in due time it ain't gonna have no choice but to pop off. That's all I say about that. Stay encouraged. Detours, especially when it comes to detours, I'm trying to think if detours can be expected, because when I hear detour, like when you're driving on the road, right, and you're going a path that you know, and let's say you have to turn right to get on the highway you need to get on, and they're doing road work on that turn, so you have to take a detour. So I feel like detours are more so unexpected. So with that analogy in mind, when it comes to the detours that we have when being in pursuit of the things of just our goals in general, right? We have to learn how to adapt. When you're going somewhere that you don't know, what do you have on? You have your GPS on. And the GPS has an aerial view to where even if a detour were to come up, you'd eventually end up being rerouted. With that being said, God is my GPS. When things have come up in my life and I'm in pursuit of something and like I'm going like full force, and then something come up and I'm like, oh, this wasn't in the plan. This was not a part of the plan. That's when I'm prayerful. I'm like, God, okay, well, why did this pop up? Do I need to, I can't go the way I anticipated. So what way is it that you need for me to go? And so in the midst of detours, I believe that we learn how to adapt by being prayerful over the detours that we encounter as we're in pursuit of it, as we're in pursuit of our goals, whatever the case may be. And so how do we become and how do we stay proactive through these? When it comes to distractions and just outside noise, like you can also have outside noise that's encouraging. You can also have a support system. But to discern those things, ask yourself at the end of the day, is what I'm hearing, what I'm taking in, and what I'm seeing, is it serving where I'm trying to go? If the answer is yes, receive it. If the answer is no, eliminate it. Easier said than done, but eliminate it. But I always like to ask myself that when it comes to like stuff that I hear, see, or just something, even something like a thought that may come into my head, like, Jada, is this going to get you to where you need to be? Like, is thinking this going to help you to keep pushing to the goal you're trying to accomplish? And if it's no, I'd be like, okay, we don't need to spend any more time on this. And granted, that's a process to get to, but that's something that's helped me. And another thing I would say would be to encourage yourself. And I had to pause because I know for some of us, and for me too, it hasn't always been the easiest to encourage myself. And I had to get to a point where I did it in spite of what I was feeling. And I had to remind myself of, and even pray to God, like, okay, what is it that you see in me to where you got me steady circling back to this thing that I just feel like I can't do. And that was when he showed me how he saw me, and that was what helped me. And that was how I was able to encourage myself even through the moments and seasons of discouragement. It also helped for me to have a good support system around me. And so, yeah, just stay encouraged and be encouraged, and encourage yourself. If you don't have a support system, encourage yourself. And if you don't have a support system, you can do it. Mark the timestamp. You can do it. I'm encouraging you right now that you are capable of doing it. No matter what anybody else says, you can do it. I be beating a dead horse telling y'all on this camera that y'all can do it. But I truly mean it. If you don't have a support system, know you can come here and get some encouragement. You can do it. You may be discouraged right now. That doesn't mean you're any less capable. Yes, you may be feeling that in that moment, but it doesn't have to stay with you. Be encouraged and know that what God has given you is for you, and that it is going to blow your mind. Whatever it is that you're pursuing, He's going to blow your mind. And I encourage you to keep pressing towards the mark, and that you can do it. Point blank, period. And another thing would be how to be proactive. This goes to the detours piece. Learn how to redirect. That just comes with adapting and just being prayerful and trusting that God will redirect you. And so these are just a lot of a good bit, some of the main points of just what I've learned these past few months and just throughout this year that's helped me to stay in pursuit of what I believe, God has told me and has given me. And one of those things is this podcast and creating content to help y'all, because it gets hard. It gets hard just trying to continue to not put yourself out there, but to just keep pressing forward when you have to create. Just when you have to create, there's a different. It's just a different level of a different sense of maneuvering, when it comes to like creating and knowing that you genuinely want to help people, because I don't want to aimlessly help people. I want to intentionally help people. And I don't want to just be spitting out stuff to y'all just to be spitting it out. I want to be like prayerful about it and intentional about it, because I know that there's somebody on the other side of this camera that's watching this, and I'm praying that you will receive something out of it. I don't take that lightly. And that is why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, but also sharing what I'm sharing, because I know just as much as I want to help somebody, y'all want to help somebody too. And so those are the things that have helped me. And so, yeah, I pray that y'all take this episode, listen, share it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and just to know and be mindful of your pursuit, and to be intentional, block out the outside noise, be proactive, and be prayerful. Be prayerful. And I love you guys, and continue to press toward what God has showed you and the vision that He's given you. And I believe in you, and I know that you are more than capable of doing it. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mindful Moments. I want y'all to remember this. Take it one step at a time. Know that you're capable. Know that you're worth it. Be intentional and know that everything you need to accomplish the things you want is already inside of you. But look, y'all, the podcast doesn't end here, okay? Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at O_Jada. That's O with 3 H's _JADA. You can see the visuals from past episodes and segments, and maybe even some teasers for upcoming episodes. And be sure to follow and like Mindful Moments on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and even Google Podcasts. And as you go through your day, remember to be mindful of today in hopes for a better tomorrow. I'll see you in the next episode.